in AI as a competitor. He drove me to be as more obsessive about the game, because I had to figure out how to solve that problem, And I told him when I saw him here this weekend, I said, man, you don't realize how much you pushed me, and I don't think people nowadays realize how great you were as a player, and how big of a problem you were for defenses.
This is the second consecutive year that we've been up here on this stage. You've been nominated once again. Congratulations on that. How do you feel about that?
I feel very excited until I saw that Allen Iverson was nominated. So this is the honest to God truth. I retired because of Allen Iverson. He came down and he did that crossover thing, and I tried it, and then he laid it up, and then he hit me on the butt running by, and I knew it was time to go.
Did you not want to face the most?
AI was mine.
All right.
I loved it. It's not that I didn't want to face him, but knowing that it's going to be an uphill battle. I always had a tough time with little, really fast guys. And as you can see right there, he got by me pretty easy.
Bubba Chuck!
But he was just fearless.
Oh,
He was fearless. I mean, he never let up. I mean, he was a warrior. You couldn't bully him. I could bully a lot of guys. You couldn't bully him. I mean, AI was my guy for sure.
I'm going to go with AI, because he was fearless. He was like me, my thing was any little guy that came in there, I'm going to touch him up, Ernie. I'm going to touch him up and lay him down. But he was the only one, besides Gary, he was the only one that just kept coming back.
Mm-hmm. He was a great competitor. He went at everybody. He was the scorer that he was. He would never be another little man scorer like that ever in history, I don't think, of way he can play basketball.
If there are referees involved, I would not want to guard Allen Iverson.
Okay.
Because they do not want to call fouls for Steph Curry. You could just maul Steph, and he shoots like 2 free throws a game. It's amazing how a 2-time MVP and unanimous MVP just can't get calls. But Allen Iverson, he knew how to get around the referee. So
I like that they just put toast.
Refs, yeah, you did regardless. Either way, you did.
Just toast.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the legacy of Allen Iverson?
Oh, huge heart, big-time competitor, prolific scorer, back down to no one, could get to the basket and finish over the top, knock down mid-range shots, could shoot the three, but also not only the numbers, but a cultural icon. Michael Jordan in the 90s, when you talk about his tongue wag, and then in 2000, you talk about Allen Iverson ushering the hip-hop generation to the NBA. Tattoos, cornrows. You didn't see that from an MVP in 2000. That was sort of taboo in the NBA. So for him to show up and still have that flair, that personality, and also be able to connect with different generations across the globe, ultimately, I think those are the things that come back to haunt you in the end when people want to kick you on the way down, kind of like I saw with Barry Bonds in baseball.
My first year coaching in Toronto, I'm in this little restaurant I go to, a little quiet place. In walks AI. We got a Sunday afternoon game, 12 o'clock, and AI is hanging pretty good, and it's early, and I'm sending them drinks, and I'm like, AI, keep drinking up, keep eating. And he looks at me as he's drinking one of my drinks. He said, Coach, it's not going to work. I love Toronto. I like to put a show on here. And he commenced to coming out and giving us about 49 the next day at 12 o'clock. And to me, pound for pound, one of the most toughest competitors in the NBA. He knew he was going to get hit, knew he was going to get beat, but yet he kept getting up and he kept coming. And so, like Grant said, much deserved, one of the toughest players ever in the history of this game for his size.
Toughest guard to defend because of their dribbling ability. Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson.
AI.
I'm going to have to go with Allen Iverson, man.
Allen Iverson is one of the guys that, because of his speed and quickness, is just hard to guard. Yeah, you have to really, really focus on him.
Well, that's just a monster move by Iverson.
Every minute, every second on the court, you have to know where he is because he is that dominant.
There's not a guard out there that does things like he do on the floor. I mean, he's unbelievable.
That is a sensational move from Allen Iverson. At 6 feet, he is basically unstoppable.
Iverson just come at you and you're like, what's going to happen next?
There, Iverson can do just about anything he wants against anybody in basketball.
AI has been doing it for years. His crossovers, his toughness. One game in Philly, he was just rocking the points up.
Iverson brings his way in for 2. How did he do that?
When I just, found myself looking, I'm like, this guy is unbelievable.
He's an assassin, especially in the full court. He can't be stopped.
He says Iverson. Allen it, and a foul by AI.
The toughest player probably to stop in the open court is Allen Iverson. I mean, I think he does a bulk of his damage and scoring in the open court.
The speed that he possesses from baseline to baseline, I don't think it's matched by anyone in this league.
And here come the Sixers on the run. Iverson. Whoa, man, what a move. To Iverson. Behind the back, and he laid it in. A dazzling move.
Like, you'd rather guard, to be honest, you'd rather guard Kobe.
Really?
Than Allen.
Why?
Because with Kobe, he's going to go to his spots. You know, it's going to walk you down. Come on. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
You already know.
You know what's coming.
You're going to get someone who's trying to score 60, but there's different types of 60.
Yeah.
This guy he's a 60 headache.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's one of those 60 headaches where it's just a non-stop coming.
Sixers select Allen Iverson. Iverson, the crossover dribble. Iverson. Oh, no! Iverson stole the ball. And how do you like that? Iverson has Jordan. Allen shakes, Gray gets two. Iverson steps over Toronto.
In the category of missed opportunities and what if and living totally up to potential, does Allen Iverson fit in there at all for any of you here?
No.
No, I don't think so.
He reached it to.
He maxed out.
He maxed out. I don't think there's any guard that size other than Isaiah that's going to have that career. I don't think anyone.
I think a lot of the guards like Ty Lawson, they thanking Allen Iverson, thanking guys like Isaiah to say, you know what, if I'm 5'10", 5'11", or even 6 foot, I can use my quickness. If I got a jump shot, use the pick and roll. Allen Iverson said that he can get knocked down 100 times, he's getting right back up.
Yeah, but
I think he maxed out. Yeah, I don't think he. You won't look at Allen Iverson and say he did not reach his potential. I mean, he was MVP of our league once. You know,
Four-time scoring champion.
Yeah, so
there's nothing. If you get more out of that,
yeah.
And one story I have. We have a practice. He's going hard as I don't know what. The media's been on him, kind of all this, and he's just mad. He's quiet. He's not saying nothing. I'm like, oh yeah, I feel something coming. Go to Milwaukee. It was the best game I've ever seen by a teammate in my life. He gave them 60-something. Passing the ball, doing his thing. Was he a difficult player to play with? He only knows how to score. He only knows how to go hard. But I've never in my life, never, played with a player that played as hard as him on the court. Maybe Bobby Jackson, Doug Christie, other guys that played as hard. And so it's a lot of guys I know played this hard, but I've never been with somebody played as hard as him. And so when I see him going through all this, you know, I just hope that at the end of the day, because all we're talking about is basketball. He's not President Obama. All we're talking about is Boop. And if you look at him and what he did, man, you name me another guy with the heart he had every night. He used to wear hockey pads. You know the pads that go, you guys probably wore them too, the pads that go all the way around you. I used to see him after games, bruised, banged up, and his only thing was, yo, Webb, I got to go hard. You know, if they watch me, this is the first night. This might be the first time anybody's ever come see me play. It's just an honor to watch that guy play, man. I'm proud to say I played with him.
Justin Kimbrell said on that night he had 54.
You know, Sixers, obviously, to play in their history. And, pound for pound, probably one of the best players that we've seen. And, you know, his heart, you know, can never be judged, what he was able to give to this Sixers franchise, man. And, you know, I think anytime you bring Allen Iverson's name up, they will always think great things about him because of his ability to play the game at a high level every night.
He changed the game. You know, he inspired a lot of young guys, you know, to want to play basketball and be who they are. You know, just never changed for anybody. And he's a great player. He's fun to watch, you know, fun to play against, and he's a great person.
He brought style to the game of basketball. He brought flair. He brought, you know, the tattoos. He brought the braids. He brought, you know, he made guys feel good about themselves on the basketball court. Gave guys swag. Even right now, to this day, everybody wants to be AI. Even little kids that never really saw AI play, everybody wants to be AI.
Being able to watch him, I mean, I grew up in Los Angeles, being able to watch Lakers play the Sixers in the finals and be able to see all the things he's done, you know, at his size and the competitive nature he has for the game is definitely great.
You go full circle when you looked up at the tribute, and there's Allen Iverson leading the message.
No doubt, man. You know, when I was a kid, Michael Jordan, #1, Allen Iverson was #2, and obviously Kobe's #3, my top 3 favorite players of all time. So, you know, to take myself out of the moment and to think about, you know, 20-some-odd years later, Allen Iverson would be the one, you know, his voice would be the one dedicating something to me in his arena, in his city. I couldn't have written it any sweeter, any better. You know, I'm so appreciative of, you know, obviously of every organization that do something like that because they don't have to. But, you know, my guy, man, you know, guys know he's one of the 2 reasons I wear #3. And, you know, every time I see him is all love, and I appreciate that, and I try to rep that #3 to the fullest.